Hello! It's Andy again from the Egocast channel, and I'm thinking about doing this as a new segment. I don't know. I'm kind of toying with the idea of it. I probably will, but I don't know how many times I'm going to do this because it is what it is. But I'm calling this If I Was There. Bearing did a live stream yesterday with Kraut and Tea and Vegan Gains and some other vegan guy. And I watched a part of it, and then this morning I watched the whole thing. And there was a couple of points that were raised that I would like to weigh in my answers on. So here we go.
Well, like I said again, personal choice and just liking something, having a habit out of something doesn't morally justify doing it. And just because
I'm not making a moral decision. I'm not making a moral decision. I'm making a selfish decision.
Well, I realize you're not making a moral decision, but the point I'm trying to make is it is unethical. Like, this is what the debate was supposed to be about.
So, morals and ethics. The debate is about morals and ethics. Is it moral or ethical to kill animals for consumption when it's believed that we don't need to for survival? Well, that's the key, isn't it? Survival. That is what we base our choices on, really. I mean, if we were trapped on a mountainside, after a couple of weeks, you would start to look pretty fucking tasty. Like, my morals are going to start to go out the window as soon as I'm starving to death and I need to live. So, there's where your morality is. And as far as animals are concerned, imagine if we stopped eating meat. We would grow and evolve along that path. So, in the future, people wouldn't be able to eat meat. I think that's a bad idea. Like, that, limiting our possibilities, that's always a bad idea.
If I could ask you why, why do you think it's great to, I mean, not great, but why do you think it's okay to, just cause the suffering and death of animals?
Well, suffering and death. Death is a natural stage of life. We can have animals and we can raise them and we can just wait for them to die and then we can eat them. We could certainly do that. But as far as suffering, people suffer. All things suffer in one way or another. And to have a life is pretty special. So, I mean, I don't know what a cow finds joyful in life. You know what I mean? Who knows? I imagine they don't like being crammed in fucking nose to asshole and all that stuff, but, I don't know. I don't know exactly how much they suffer. I imagine it can be a lot, but, they're animals. Like, their whole purpose in life is to feed us. They have no other purpose. So, it's kind of ridiculous to argue that as a point. I mean, it's not something that can be successfully quantified, and it's not something that most people will care about in comparison to the survival of the species. To make an omelet, you got to break some eggs.
Well, no, the thing is, if you're going to argue for the consumption of meat, that's just not an adequate argument. What we're saying is it is immoral and it's unjustified to kill animals just because you desire animal flesh, just because you like the taste of steak.
Now, see, I can see that can be argued as far as wild animals are concerned. But we create these animals with the specific intent that someday we are going to kill them. They are our creation. Without us to make and breed them, they literally wouldn't exist. There's no purpose for them in the world other than to feed us. Cows don't do anything. Like, they don't have a purpose to us. We've figured out a way around needing them wild. We just don't. Chickens, same thing. Pigs, same thing. They serve no purpose but to feed us. So we create them to fulfill that purpose. Now, this is something I created. This is my own little work of art, right? I made this thing, and I can do with it what I please. I can stick it on a shelf forever. I can sell it to somebody else. I could fucking burn the thing if I wanted to. I could destroy my own creation. If I was cold enough, believe me, I would. Now, you say that we don't need to eat meat, and there are people that argue against that. And I would say that as long as there are people that argue against that, it serves a purpose for us to eat meat, which means that we need to have something to fulfill that purpose. So we create specifically these creatures to fulfill that purpose. That's why it's going to continue on. And that's why there's no moral decision in it at all. It's my pig. I birthed it. I raised it. It came from the pig that I birthed and raised. And I'm going to kill the fucking thing when it gets big enough. And I'm going to eat it because it's tasty. There's no moral quandary there. It's no different than my painting. I can do with it what I please.
Well, why do you think your personal freedoms should extend to the point that you can just kill animals unnecessarily? And
because we are superior.
Yeah. So might makes right?
See, this was a phrase that was brought up a lot during this, and it isn't a matter of might makes right. It's a matter of survival of the fittest. When a bear comes across a village, the villagers have the choice of letting the bear kill their people and take over the area, or they can kill the bear. Now, if they just went out as people and went to go and kill the bear would probably kill all of them because the bear is a far more mighty creature than just a human. The thing that makes us different is that we can create things like spears, and we can domesticate creatures like dogs that help us in this endeavor to keep us safe, and once the beast is slain, we can eat it. Double bonus. It will feed the town for a long time. Now, that's ancient peoples, and we're talking about nowadays. Nowadays, we still have the ingenuity, and we have figured out what animals are worth killing because they serve no greater purpose, and which ones aren't. We don't kill bears and wolves anymore unless they become a problem because they keep population low with other animals that we also have chosen not to kill. We really only have the 3. Anything else is exotic. So, and they are bred specifically for this purpose. So it's survival of the fittest. We want to survive as a race. To do that, we need to be omnivores because it gives us the greatest possibility for survival. So we need to continue to eat meat.
Like, that's the funny thing that I thought about your response bearing. I got to the point where you started talking about how I was abusing my dog, and first of all, whatever.
It was pretty average, man. It was pretty average. Like, that's a wolf dog. It's not a vegan. It's just not vegan.
Well, obviously a dog can't be vegan because it doesn't have moral agency.
And see, there you go. You've now made a distinction between animals and humans. Animals don't have moral agency. So when an animal is in the wild, it will kill anything because it doesn't care. It just needs to eat. We're different. We have chosen 3 specific animals that serve no greater purpose but to feed us. And we have decided to domesticate them, and we have decided to breed them because we need to continue as a species. We need to continue to evolve on the same path that we have. We need to not limit ourselves. Animals don't think that way. If we really had the moral agency of an animal, we would kill everything indiscriminately. There would be nothing safe from our bloodlust of food. Like, we would need to have meat from every fucking source. It wouldn't matter. We would destroy this planet because we would just kill and eat everything. We don't. That's why. Because we have chosen these 3 animals. We said these 3 are okay. Everything else has a greater purpose. We're going to leave all them alone.
So dogs are more important than pigs?
Yep.
Explain why.
The reason why dogs are more important than pigs is because of the value that they have. Dogs serve a greater purpose than a pig. A pig, and some people keep pigs as pets, but pigs largely are kept strictly for their beef, their food, their flesh. That's why we need them. They serve no other purpose. Dogs we keep as companions. Dogs we use as helpers. Dogs we use as, aid. The aid dogs, rescue dogs. Like, we have all sorts of reasons to keep dogs. Police dogs. They're hunting dogs. Dogs serve a greater purpose. So we rank animals accordingly. Like I said earlier, bears and wolves, they keep deer population down. We need that. Because otherwise we would have to do it. Because deer fucking just destroy everything that they come near. So there you go. That's the reason why we have a hierarchy in which we care about animals. Also, it's the degree to which we can eat on them. Like, cows got a lot of beef. Pigs got a lot of pork. And chickens are small, but you can get a pretty substantial amount of food off of a chicken. Dogs, for the most part, they don't taste as good, I imagine. They're probably stringy because they're mostly muscle. I mean, I just can't imagine there's really good eating on a dog. So, there you go.
Right. Well, the argument we're making is, even though they're not humans and maybe they don't have as much value, at least according to us, they are sentient and they can experience pain and suffering. And being a decent human being with empathy, you can sympathize with these animals. They don't want to die. They can feel pain and suffering. So why would you do that to them if it's unnecessary?
Because you want for the mate is stronger than the empathy.
But
look, how could you say, it's not psychopathic to wipe them out in one fell swoop? But but you want to perpetuate their suffering. How is that not psychopathic?
Well, I hope that you don't mean perpetuate their suffering as in they're all some sort of hive species that can feel echoes of pain through time. That's kind of ridiculous. The way you phrase that is odd to me. But, I mean, what I imagine that you mean is perpetuate their suffering as in, continue to breed animals just to suffer and die for us. Well, that's their purpose. Again, you're advocating, it sounds like, extinction of the species because they serve no other purpose. We can't just let them loose because they'll all die. And there's no reason to breed them if there's no reason to breed them. So they'll all die off, and then they just won't exist anymore. So I think the extinction of anything is a bad idea. And anytime that you're advocating for the extinction of something, you really need to look at where your morals lie and exactly what your argument is. Because saying because pigs and cows and chickens aren't useful to us other than their meat, we should just let them all die off. That just sounds like a really, really bad idea to me. Maybe I'm wrong, but
Mm-hmm.